everyone, I'm Carrie Pena. Thank you so much for being here for our talk show In the Moment, focused on transformation, inspiration, and really just living your best life. I'm here now with my co-host, Gelly Ackenblit, who is the founder of Networking Phoenix. And in for Zenobia today, Tyler Butler, who is a blogger and inspirational girl around town, influencer, and all things cool. And in the moment with us today, our co-host, guest hosting with us is Chevy Humphrey, who is the CEO at Arizona Science Center. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I'm excited about being here.
You just got off the plane. Where were you?
I was
back from
actually
a big trip.
in Manila in the Philippines, and it was an incredible trip, and I learned so much from my colleagues in Manila, and I'm bringing all of that information back to Arizona so that we can use their best practices to be a better organization.
So I have to tell folks, I've been hearing about you for months. So many people say incredible things about you. You are a leader, a mentor, and you're a woman who is really kind of burning up the trail here at the Science Center. You have put us on the national map in a big way. So I want to kind of dig into that today and talk about what inspires you to be such a great leader. Let's start there.
Well, what inspires me is when I walk on the floor and I see these kids and their eyes are wide open to learning about science, and they can dream about how they can make a difference in the world. And that's what gets me excited, seeing all the kids there, and they want to learn and they care about the future. And I think sometimes we underestimate these kids. They're really smart, they're very passionate, and they want to make a difference, and they want to make their communities better.
Now, Chevy, I think it's important, and Ty, you do a lot of work with the Science Center
I'm on
here
their board
too.
of trustees,
So feel free to
Science
jump
Center.
in here because you actually know a lot more than I do about this. But Chevy, I do know that when you talk about underestimating these kids, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're talking about the fact that you guys reach out into a variety of demographics, lower income neighborhoods, and make sure that those kids are exposed to all the things going on at the Science Center, as well as the kids who come from more affluent neighborhoods, right?
Yes, we serve all. Inside the Science Center, we see about 500,000 people through our doors, and of that, over 167,000 are school children from around the state. And we also offer about 40,000 free admissions to Title I schools. And so we feel that's very important.
How did you fall in love with science?
It's funny, my parents bought me a science kit, and I blew up my toilet at home. And they were like, oh my God, she's going to be a scientist. I love to experiment. I love to tinker. I love to learn. And you learn every day when you walk outside and you see a centipede outside. What is it doing? How is it a part of our ecosystem? And it's necessary for our environment. And so I love to ask questions. And sometimes that got me in trouble in school, especially with teachers, when I'd ask why, because didn't just want the answer. I wanted to understand what was the reasoning to get to that answer.
That's important.
It is, and the Create Space at Arizona Science Center allows for a ton of kids in the Valley to come in and tinker and learn by doing. So
Yes.
there is a whole breadth of opportunities there too through camps and other offerings.
Talk us through sort of what's going on at the Science Center right now. And you guys always have amazing things, but I want to show some pictures of the Pompeii exhibit. What is that?
Oh my goodness, the Pompeii exhibition. It really talks about what happened in that city, and it shows over 200 artifacts from the site where Mount Vesuvius just devastated a community. And we have over we have body cast, we have stories about some of the families that were there. We have so many of our experiences around in a 4D theater where you actually go through what the people went through when the volcano erupted. It's a 4D theater. It's so impactful because I actually went to Pompeii, and it's quite overwhelming because you really don't know where to turn or where to go to. You don't understand the stories. You don't understand why you're seeing what you're seeing. Well, when you go through our Pompeii exhibition, we tell you the story.
What I love about it too is that that's history. So you're
It is.
blending science, learning, deeper levels there. One of your passions is STEM. and I would love for you to talk a little bit about how much you're accomplishing in Arizona and why you think not only in Arizona but nationally this is so very important, in particular for young girls.
You know, girls have really not been focused on science and technology because it's sort of threatening when you're in a classroom. And I can give you my own experience. When I went to school, I was the only girl in the class, and so you didn't really have anybody to talk to or anyone to balance things off of, and you felt alone. And so what we try to do at Arizona Science Center is we try to empower girls. And so we've taken our Girls in STEM program to, we started out with 25 students, and now it's over 150. We've done it over the last 3 years, and we're starting to grow, and we really promote that mentorship and that it's okay to know this information. It's okay to be a geek.
It's cool.
Yeah,
It's
you're
cool.
empowered. Yeah.
You're empowered to do
Yeah.
that. And when they see leaders like me and my colleagues, I can do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you can actually do better than we can.
I love it. I love everything you're doing. I mean, I'm a nerd too. I'm not good at science. I'll be the first to say, but I am a nerd. I love to read. I love to learn. I think that what you're saying at its fundamental level is, it is a beautiful thing. It is a cool thing to learn more and expose yourself to more. And I know we're a little over on your segment. You're too good.
sorry.
You're too good. I have one more question, and I'm sorry to the crew. But please touch quickly on the big deal that is going on in Phoenix, hosting the National Museum organization in this conference. How did Phoenix get this?
We are so thrilled. We are hosting over 4,000 of our colleagues around the world, museum professionals here in Phoenix for the first time. And it is in their first time in their 110-year history that it's ever come to Phoenix.
Wow.
So it's really cool. And they are going to be able to see what we bring to the table.
Yeah.
Because Phoenix is a strong arts and cultural community.
And please say what you said before we went on, that it is a diverse place, because Phoenix has gotten a very bad rap over the years.
We have had a very bad rap, but if you look at leadership in our arts and cultural community, and there are a ton of wonderful leaders, and I'd like to highlight a few. We have Amada Cruz, who is the first Cuban American to run a major art museum in the country. I am the first African American CEO of a science center in the country. You've got the director at the MIM, who is a Puerto Rican born American that is running the MIM. We are all women. We are all diverse.
Good stuff.
That is really cool.
You
And
knew
it's-
with this crew we had to get that
I
plug in there at the end. Chevy,
Makes
it's great
sense.
having you on set with us today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And now we want to thrive with Gelly. So as y'all know, who follow along with our show, Gelly talks to business people and entrepreneurs about how to get better sort of in all ways. And today you're focused on something that really leaves a lot of people kind of trying to figure out best practices. And that is, how do you send an email that makes an impact?
Yeah, absolutely. So, what's interesting is I'm also not so good at math or science. And, growing up, that wasn't like the best thing in my, Russian family. But I've always been very good at writing, and it just came to me very naturally, connecting with people. That's why, I do what I do. And I've noticed that a lot of my clients recently have been asking me to help them craft emails that they need to write to complete strangers, whether it's through LinkedIn or they got their email address somehow, and get them to respond.
So it doesn't seem like a cold call.
Well, it is a cold call.
Yeah.
But
you
it's
don't
got
want it to feel that way.
Right.
Yeah.
You want them to respond to it and not to delete it. And there's definitely psychology behind it. So I sat down and I'm like, okay, so what is it that I do? And a lot of times it's difficult for me to understand what I do because I do it so naturally. But I did research on it because I love to research too. And there's these psychological factors. So that's what I'm going to talk about, give people some tips. So when you write a cold email to somebody you don't know, there's 3 factors. It has to be relevant, it has to be brief, and it has to be personalized. And I would say personalized is the #1 factor. So I'm not talking about mass emails, when you've got a community. I'm talking about literally you found somebody, like let's say I found Chevy. And
Yeah, because
we have
she's a
no
big deal.
connection.
So if you're going to email
She's a
her,
big deal.
you got to have your stuff in order.
Right. So, you've got to, so right away, your first line the main goal of the first line is to get them to read the second line. That is literally the main goal of the first line. So if they don't have you by the first line, you're probably like, I've got 400 others. So I was working with a client yesterday, and his first line was to a complete stranger, I want to meet with you for 15 minutes on such and such. That was the first line.
I'm out.
I was like, no, we need to read. And he sent that email. I was like, no. So you have to personalize, and then so I tell people, look, you have to if you have a common connection, use it. I was working with this lady yesterday too, and they're both from the same city, and she said, I don't want to use that word from the same city. How's that relevant? I'm like, when you're talking to a perfect stranger, a small connection like that is super relevant.
So break down your tips here, because you say
Yes.
each email needs to be personally crafted for the individual you're sending it to.
Yes.
And you say that this positions you and makes you credible to complete stranger.
Right.
The second, the relevance is why are you contacting
Yes,
them?
absolutely. So tell me why. Why did this email come into my inbox? What would you like from me? Do not be shy. Just literally, please tell me what you want. And the last one is be brief. They recommend 125 words or less. Nobody wants to read novels. Just tell me who you are, what you want, why you're credible, and be careful of what you ask. Do not ask me to lunch if I don't know you. That is way too much of a commitment, or dinner, or anything weird like that. But a 15-minute phone call, maybe a coffee meeting if it makes sense. Honestly, even if to drop off a resume to say, I would just love to shake your hand, that could be relevant in the situation. Do that. So be careful of your ask, and that's how I would say to craft a great email.
And just very quickly,
Yes.
what do you tell people about the title line? I like it when someone
yes,
just
the
puts
subject
on the
line.
subject line exactly
Exactly
why
what they
you're
want,
emailing.
yeah.
Absolutely. So I would say trying to connect with you or introducing myself, right away just kind of tells you, okay, or maybe if you have a common connection, if you have two people in common, use that in the subject line.
Yeah.
It referred to you by Carrie Pena.
That's
if you
good
saw that,
tip.
you're like, oh, okay, well, what is this? I mean, we know somebody in common, I'll open it.
Yeah, that's
I
personal
need to use
connection.
that one more.
Yeah, great tips, Gal. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And now it is time to vibe, and Tyler is in for Zenobia today. So I love this show because we're talking about science, business, and now fashion.
I
We've got it all covered.
know. Makes me a happy girl. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about fabric today, and it's located in Tempe. It's the Fashion and Business Resource Innovation Center. Was brought to us in October of 2016 by two really dynamic women, Angela Johnson and Sherry Berry, who used to be with the Science Center.
Yes.
And these two women really have joined forces and brought to Phoenix a one-stop shop for the fashion industry, so that there is a consortium for classes, for learning, for camps. They've gained some really big support lately and some grants, and have been able to create a runway-ready facility so that they're going to be hosting a ton of stuff. In fact, the Pierce Foundation Fashion Show will be there in the coming weeks. So just really tremendous. They've taken the Tempe Performing Arts Center that sat vacant for years and turned it into something that's pretty magical. And
Can you talk, Ty, too, about, because I know how hard Angela has worked, and I know
Yes.
all the folks involved in that, but this is really a case of someone who believed in her dream, and she had a lot of no's along the way, and she finally got some yeses in a very profound victory for this site.
Absolutely. She really, she saw the opportunity when the internet broke and merchandising was changing, and there was an opportunity for designers to get their stuff out there in an easier market. She saw that there was a need for a connectivity, for a space for people to learn so that, they could push their mission forward. And so in her getting this Tempe space and putting together this collective of people, she's created really something that's special in the whole Southwest, just not the state.
And they're really trying to help people learn the business of fashion.
Absolutely. In fact, Label Horde is a website, and it is the one-stop shop for all of the fashion industry, businesses, events, anything you want to know. So that's also a piece of fabric.
And Angela, by the way, I would encourage people to go check this all out because she's got really cool, she designed a dress for me out of all recycled t-shirts.
Oh, she's known for
I
that.
gotta bust that thing
She's
out.
known for
Yeah.
that, and she has some tremendous items that she's made. So I too want to get one of those dresses. Actually, I'm hunting for one of those.
All right, thanks so much, Ty. Appreciate it. And now we want to tell you a little bit more about our newest podcast. So as y'all know, suddenly I'm a Southerner. Where'd that come from? As you all know, we have a couple of podcasts that we produce at Inspired Media at 360, and one of those is called Transformation Tuesday. The most recent episode, I interview a lady. Her name is Sarah Stanley, and this is a 50-minute interview, and she was so incredible. She's an author and a coach. She's very well known and very well respected, and she talks about how to transform your life and live freely. So I want to hit a couple of her main points in hopes that you'll go onto the site and check out the entire interview. She says, detox your thinking, consider what you are filling your minds with, and then she said something I thought was really great. She said, you basically have two buckets in life. Every choice you make is a drop in one of those buckets. Sooner or later, one of the buckets is going to overflow into the life that you want or into the life that you don't want. And when she said that, you know, I always have those kind of like Oprah, like,
Oh, yeah.
aha moments.
Yeah.
I was like, that is so on point. She
Really?
really goes through kind of her methodology, what she teaches people. And she's one of those extreme athletes, like the ones who can run like 100 miles.
Oh, wow.
And she says so much of it is mental strength, and she's just really incredible. So if you'd like to hear more of Sarah's interview, we have a full season that we've now produced of 50-minute interviews. 11 of them are up on our site, transformationtuesday.tips. All of the information is also on our website, inspiredmedia360.com. And now we want to move along and drop a little wisdom. You didn't know you were going to get all of this today, did you?
No,
When we
I
invited
didn't.
you down here,
This
you're
is
sort of
amazing.
like, what is this? I've interviewed you on the news, and this has never been.
She's a powerhouse, though. We got to give her some
No,
credit.
this is amazing.
We're going to check
Thank
in with
you.
another one of our contributors, our friend Luke Kayem. Today he is talking about how to hold ourselves accountable. Take it away, Luke.
Hey guys, Extreme Accountability Coach Luke Kayem. New title, same guy, same mission, same vision. To be able to give other people, other human beings, more tips and tools to live a higher quality life. Because ultimately, we all want more. We want more happiness, we want more health, we want more wealth, we want more productivity from ourselves. So I have a very simple way to create more space in your life. More space for what? For anything that you want. And by applying these very simple fundamentals to every single decision in your life, you'll create this decision-making filter, which helps you make the right choices. And it's simple. Before you buy something, before you do something, before you contemplate, should I get out of bed early and work out, go through this simple process. Is it a need? Is it a want? Is it a must? The next time you go on Amazon and you're getting ready to buy a Rolex watch, a pair of hiking boots, or possibly even a new car or a new home, do you need it? Do you want it? Must you have it in your life? And what you'll do is you'll filter out all the BS, all the minutia, all the distractions and useless objects that we consume, that fill our home, that fill our body, and that fill our minds. 3 choices. Do you need it? Do you want it? Or must you have it in your life? My name is Luke Kayem, living every single day with purpose, passion, and positivity.
Thank you so much, Luke. So let's talk quickly about accountability. Chevy, let me ask you, as a very successful woman, as a CEO, someone who has perhaps defied the odds in your own life to become those things, how important is accountability? Holding yourself accountable.
It's everything. The best advice I'd ever gotten is from my mother. My mother told me when I was growing up, you're going to have 2 strikes against you. You're a woman and you're a person of color. So that means you need to perform at 200% so that you can have 100% in your back pocket. That was the most profound advice and that I've lived by my whole life.
That's really great.
It is.
I got to put that quote up on my website. I'll attribute your mama when I do
Yes,
it. Now, speaking of mama, we want to go out to lunch with mom. So our contributor, David Lux and Mama Lux, always out and about, and here's what they have to say today. D-Lux writes in, it's another twofer this week, as Mama Lux and I are taking advantage of the last cool weather before summer. We dined al fresco at Picasso's, one of my personal
love that
favorites
place.
too, and we were inspired to eat healthy. Mama Lux had the apple and walnut gorgonzola salad. She loved it, and David says that he went with a bowl of grains with chicken and cold veggies. So he says it was A+ on the food. Then they were off to Encanto Park. Phoenix, he says, has a world-class park system, and this used to be its crown jewel. He says that they had a great time, and he highly encourages people. That's a good point. The park system is really impressive. Phoenix, I think, sometimes does not get enough credit for how culturally diverse and open a city we are, you know? And we're gonna close out today with our Do Good segment. I am so happy and excited to report that our event that we put on to benefit the children of St. Jude was a big hit. And I want to say thanks to all of those who have been supporting, because I was one of the co-chairs for that event. It was called A Night in Monte Carlo. We raised upwards of $200,000, perhaps more. I haven't gotten all the final numbers. But this has become an important mission for me personally, because several months ago I went to Memphis to tour the facility to really learn more about St. Jude, who I have been contributing to for years. I got to meet a lot of the families, and we do want to tell you about one of the families here in the Valley who is being treated at St. Jude, little Bridget Korn. We just want to send her our love. She's been fighting cancer, and she is such a fighter. And her mom, Jamie, is an incredible inspiration, but Bridget did have to have a leg amputated. She is in the process of beginning her rehabilitation therapy, and we just want to say to you, Bridget, we know you're going to do it, girl. You've got it in you. Keep going. Every day you will make an improvement, and we are sending our love from Phoenix to you in Memphis. And on that note, I do want to close out by giving you the final word. Inspiration, because I know after that quote from your mom that you've got a lot of it in your back pocket. What do you want to say to the audience about just kind of going out and reaching for your dreams?
You know, I would say never stop wondering and just do it. You can do whatever you put your mind to if you just stay focused and do it.
And where can people find out more about the Science Center, whether they live here or across the country? Because people might be planning a trip and want to check it out.
Please go to our website at azscience.org, and you'll see all the wonderful things at the Science Center. And we have a great team that will be bringing you science real time, and you will get so excited and want to immerse yourself in learning more.
Even me, now I'm like, I need to go down there and check
it's
out
so
some
much.
more
I've got to.
experiments.
It's a whole day.
I want to see
Shelby,
Pompeii.
thank you so much. Really appreciate you being
Thank
here.
you.
And thanks to all of you for joining us and for joining our growing community. We aim to inspire and help you transform in ways that will make your life better. You can go to our website, inspiredmedia360.com, to see all of our shows and podcasts and content. And be sure to subscribe to our list so I can email you some friendly emails with all of the great advice I just got from Kelly. Until next time, guys, stay inspired.